Thank you for tuning in, everyone, to Everybody Has a Story. All the stories that we speak about are intimate to the person and not to be discussed or taped to re traumatize anyone. The purpose of the show is to provide formerly incarcerated and justice system involved women and men an opportunity to talk about their stories with the criminal justice system, medical issues, foster homes, child protection services, doula services, ReEntry Matters, family matters, mental health services, and much, much more. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm your host, Sierra, and today we have with us
Durell.
And thank you for joining us today, Durell. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your family?
I'm a father of 2 baby girls. I got a 12-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Awesome. What do you do in your free time?
Free time, I'm probably working on a car or driving it, or probably at the mall, just hanging out with the kids, doing something fun.
Yeah, okay. And what do you do when you feel like you keep failing, but you keep trying?
What do? I just keep attacking that goal. Just, keep aiming for the goal. I know, the road gets hard sometimes, so I just keep trying.
Good, good. And what do you want out of life?
Pretty much to just be happy and successful.
Okay. And what does that mean, being happy and successful? What is your definition of happy?
My definition of happy, not dealing with court, not, just being able to take a vacation and, you don't have to plan the days ahead, a year out, just to take that vacation with your family. Sometimes just, at the spur of the moment, take a vacation or, go do something fun.
Right, enjoy yourself. And how about success? What's your definition of success?
My definition of success is being able to feed other families, pretty much.
Feed other families beyond
as long
your
as
own?
mine, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
For sure.
What is your special gift to the world?
I got many of them. One of them would have to be, being a father and a role model. Just being a strong black man as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Strong black man.
For sure.
Not just a strong man, but a strong black man.
Oh, yeah.
We need those today. What do you do to best advocate for yourself?
I just try to get myself an understanding and get a lot of advice. Basically, if I don't know something, I'm going to find somebody that knows what I need to know.
Right. So do you ask your peers, or do you go to the community or your family members? Who do you use as advocacy for yourself?
Everything, pretty much.
Okay.
When times get hard, you gotta fight.
Yeah, you do have to utilize your resources, whoever that is, and get the things that you need done. That's awesome. What do you do to meditate?
Meditate. I listen to music. I smoke marijuana. Sometimes I just sit there and meditate. Try to get a peace of mind.
Understandable. So how did you and I meet?
I was at work, and you were basically a client, and I pulled up and gave you some help.
So that sounds a little
I know, right? Let me
like
change
bland.
So I do roadside, and your car was what you needed. I think to fix your tire.
Yeah,
and I just changed the tire for you.
Right. And so how did we get on the subject of you having this opportunity?
What are we talking about? I know we was talking about what we do, and then you told me what you do, and I told you a little bit about my story and what I needed to happen with my story, and you told me that you pretty much had a door to open for that.
Yeah, that was what happened. And I was so thankful in the moment for you to come help me because I was stranded. I was on my way to a client's birth, her appointment. And I was just like frustrated, but at the same time I was peaceful with it because I'm like, that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's life for sure.
And then you did tell me about your story, and I was like, wow, we really need to get you an opportunity to tell your story and share it because it resonated with me with the other work that I do with other people, and it just fit right in. So it was like we were placed at the right time at the right space to converse about what you were experiencing. So
it was perfect.
Because you could have just changed my tire and left. It could have been that. Yeah. But we talked and we communicated, and that's what life is about. It's about sharing, and it's about communicating because you never know what somebody else might be going through.
Networking and all that.
Exactly.
For sure.
How do people receive your story when you tell your story? And that, when I say people, I mean talk about your family, your community, the people you work with if you talk to them about it, and others.
Well, for the most part, everyone's shocked, from family, community. I talk with people inside of like the courthouses, lawyers. It doesn't look good, when I tell it to them, you know what I mean? I sound like either I'm crazy or like I shouldn't even have myself in that situation, but yet I'm here.
Right. How about family? Are they supportive to you, or are they just like, that's messed up and there's nothing they can do about it, or they feel like there's nothing they can do about it?
As far as support, it goes to a certain point. I don't know. I can't really say you can get much from people, because what I'm into, nobody really experienced it. So it's kind of brand new, also surprising when I'm talking about it, because everybody has always, in some way probably dealt with it, with a custody issue or a civil issue, but mine is a a little deeper than that. I got judges that are, being biased and just doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Right. Well, let's get into that deeper. So I would like you to tell me about your story, and this is a case in regards to custody of your daughter, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I want you to walk us through what you've experienced, walk us through how it came about and where you're at right now. Give us I want you to give it everything.
For sure. So basically, I have got together with my daughter's mom probably around 2012 or something like that. On and off, back and forth, ended up breaking up, and still was messing around. Ended up getting her pregnant. She got pregnant, she had the baby in 2015. Things started going, a little south after she had the baby. Being that we weren't together, so I think that kind of helped her, do what she's doing. Basically had the baby, and she felt like she...
Were you at the hospital when she had the baby?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I support my kids. I got two of them. I raised the first one since she was born. I had full custody of her since she was 4 years old. So going back to the new baby, she had her. Things start going left. Just couldn't work things out. She always was, making things turn out it would always end with drama, and I'm not a drama-filled person. You
Right.
know, I like to have fun and live my life and, you know, experience and not have to deal with drama all day. That's just, you know, nobody
too
likes
much.
to deal with that. Yeah. So yeah, once I figured out that, you know, we couldn't co-parent together or whatever, and, you know, the drama was just every day. It was every day. So I just figured I had to get out the situation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't have her being a role model for my kids doing some of the stuff that she was doing, like, you know, man, just fighting and carrying on in front of the kids. She being violent, you know, the words she's saying, she's cursing. She's not, you know, she's not watching how she's talking in front of them. She doesn't care. You know, you'll be asleep and she'll wake you up yelling, and the kids are asleep. She don't care what's going on. She has no respect for herself, let alone anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get out that situation. We was cohabitating, and I had to leave the situation. Basically, just moved back in with my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, things kind of was trying to get worked out. You know, I still was getting my baby here and there, but when she get upset, she'll take the baby away from me. I can't see my baby unless, you know, it's when she wants, when it's fit,
Convenient
you know
for
what
her.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so yeah, once I seen that things were going that way, and I didn't like it. You know I've been through the court system before with the custody. I just knew that it was time to, you know, go get the custody for my daughter, so you know I could get some parenting time and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So you initiated the case with the courts?
No, I did not. Around that time, I had got incarcerated for some other reasons that I was dealing with. Basically, I went on the run because I had the new baby. You know, I wanted to be around for my daughter.
Right.
I was dealing with the stuff I was dealing with. It wasn't that serious to me. I had somebody lying on me, basically trying to get me put in jail, and they ended up getting me put in there. I put myself in there dealing with them, but you know what I'm saying. They helped put me in there, so
right.
That's why I had when I was going to get the custody, I had ended up getting incarcerated for a month. And so that kind of threw me off and slowed me down a little bit. When I got out, she had ended up going down the file for the custody to initiate the
process.
But yeah.
Okay.
So that got initiated, and I was kind of glad, but at the same time, we had a Caucasian judge, and you know, once you get into these court systems, it's their ball game. You know, they control everything, and you know what you say does not matter anymore.
Right.
So where we at? What you question?
So you said that she initiated the process, and then from there, you went into court, and what happened? Did they grant you the custody?
So it was a back and forth thing, back and forth. Like I said, this judge was being real biased. She would allow my daughter's mom to keep her and just set a court date 6 months out. I couldn't see my kid until, you know what I'm saying, stuff got settled in the court date, and after, like, we'll go to the court date 6 months out, and she still doesn't want to let me see my daughter.
So they weren't giving you visitation?
Nothing. I couldn't even visit with her for 10 minutes, and she was bringing her up to the courthouse during the court proceedings.
So you asked the judge during court proceedings, can I see my child? Can I have visitation with my child? And there was a no. It
was like, man, full denial. Like, I couldn't even understand it, but...
Did they say why?
At first it was because the parenting time and stuff hadn't been started. There was no court order for parenting time. So once you have a baby, the state gives the mom full custody of the kid, and you have to go down to initiate the process to get the joint custody.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because what people do not realize is that is the truth.
Yeah.
the baby is the custody of the mother unless you otherwise go to court and get that taken care of otherwise.
But you can also write a letter and go submit it to the courts that y'all came into agreement with joint custody.
Right.
And have a parenting schedule and all of that.
Exactly. Yes, you can request that.
But you got to lay it out.
But you have to go to court in order to do that.
Court. You have to submit it to the court too.
And I learned that by a client of mine who had a baby, and I thought that automatically the dad gets the rights. And no, we went to the Father's Project and they said, no, dad has no rights. As a matter of fact, it's mom and then mom's mom. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So no parenting time.
No parenting time.
They said it wasn't in the written rules for you to get parenting time.
Nothing. Like it was just a bias. So I finally got, so during this time she went down and filed a false order for protection as well, because that would help her also keep custody of the kid if they granted it. She had made some allegations to some stuff that happened years prior, and yes, there was abuse or whatever, but on both sides. You know what I mean? It wasn't just me. If there was, I believe I would be sitting in jail. You know what I'm saying, for whatever I did, because Minnesota does not play that.
Right.
And we both know that.
Right.
She knows that. There's no police report of me being abusive. Yes, we get into altercations in the home, but we try to solve it like an adult. She filed the order for protection. They granted it. There pretty much was nothing I could do to see my kid. So with the order for protection, they granted that I could call my daughter. So we're still going, the custody stuff is still going on. My daughter's mom, she's upset that because I'm moving on basically. I have a whole new girlfriend, pretty much. Owned a couple cars, and I used to let her drive them to get to work and things like that. I had to put them in her name because I didn't have a license in the beginning when I started buying vehicles. I got my license. Right. And it was like we was fighting over the title, trying to get the title stuff switched over and stuff like that. I ended up not getting it switched over for a couple of years, and then when we broke up after she had the baby, I was going to get the titles and stuff switched. Come to find out, she had went down to get duplicate titles, lying and saying the car was hers. She knows the cars weren't hers. She had signed the original titles to the vehicles, knowing that they weren't hers, so I could just get it switched into my name. Right. They gave her duplicate titles. I had to go fight that. I'm fighting the order for protection and I'm fighting for custody. All of this is happening at the same time. So yeah, I just got hit with a whole tornado. Basically, I ended up I think they gave me the custody. I think they gave me joint custody before the order for protection was up. And we had started a schedule, but I don't think it went too far because she still was playing games with the order for protection and trying to get me put in jail, which she ended up doing. But they had to drop the charges because I had ended up calling for my daughter Savannah. Yeah. Calling to speak to her, which they said in the order for protection that I could. And she turned around and called the police and said I was harassing her, and they filed the report and had me put in jail pretty much. Wow.
So because you were calling for your daughter, I just want to bring it back because I want to make sure I'm clear and you're clear, right? Yeah. You got joint custody. Order of protection comes. It says you can contact your daughter. You're contacting your daughter.
Not even. I didn't. I think I tried calling her once because I wasn't taking no chances on going to jail. Like,
So you called one time?
probably like once or twice.
Once or twice. We'll give it 2 times. You called twice. No response? You didn't talk to your daughter?
I got the voicemail. I left the voicemail just saying call me back, pretty much.
And then here you go getting
Violated.
violation.
Yeah.
Going to spend some time in the county jail,
Ramsey County Jail.
based off of an allegation from her.
Yeah, a false allegation.
A false allegation from her. And then they come to prove that she was not telling the truth, right? Or did they base it off of because you called and that was enough proof for them?
Like I said, they dismissed it.
Okay.
They had to drop it because it was in the order for protection.
Right.
And I should have never been in jail in the first place.
Period. And they could have did that by a conversation. You didn't have to go downtown.
They told me to turn myself in. What
For
idiot
what?
goes turns themselves in for not doing anything?
Well, people turn themselves in all the time, not because they want to, but because they don't want to run from the law.
I understand that, but I mean.
But I get what you're saying. I'm with you.
If you haven't done it,
I didn't
why
do
do
anything.
You need to turn yourself in.
Right. Right.
And I tried to, voice this to the judges that I was seeing that was ordering me to go turn myself in. Nobody, I told my public defender, they just drug it out all the way up until trial. I had to take it to trial. Like,
Wow.
it was ridiculous. It was real hectic. So, yeah, I'm still fine. I got the joint custody. Got took to jail. It might have happened the other way around, but it happened around the same time. So I ended up, after I got out of jail, I got the custody and started getting visitation. Visitation was going okay, because every other time she would not show up with the baby or
So what was the
make an excuse.
visitation agreement?
It changed every time we went to court. I got this right here. This is full of court orders.
Wow.
It's all court stuff. Changing, violations of the right. This is everything right here. I gotta walk around with this. This is my life,
Right, just in case.
So yeah, I ended up getting a visitation, and then she started acting funny with it, and we're just going back and forth to court. This judge is just she's seeing what's happening, and then she'll say y'all can't get it together, or y'all not doing this, or y'all, and it's not really y'all, it's just one person that's,
Right, and this is the same judge that you've had from the beginning?
From the beginning. I had her for 2 years, almost 3 years. And it's finally going to a new judge that I'm not confident in, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Sometimes it needs a new set of eyes because the old eyes get pinned up on some bogus stuff that they have no business, absolutely no business doing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I want you to know that.
Man, they was doing a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be doing, the bias, and it was pretty obvious, like you said, the new eyes are good, but I feel like if somebody's breaking the law and somebody's helping them break the law, then somebody else needs to step in at a certain point,
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And if anybody is listening to this story and knows a way to help this young man, you can find him on Facebook, or you can message me at Everybody Has a Story Live podcast show, and I'll get the information to him. But I feel you on that, because I too have been in the court system and had several court dates, and really actually I didn't do it. So I feel you. So to have the court system hear you over and over and over again, and then they're a part of the problem. Is part of the problem.
My register of actions got more than 100 actions on it. It's like 2-3 pages long. That's ridiculous for a custody action.
A register of custody action, which talks about an action plan for your case. And yours is how many pages?
2 to 3 pages.
Okay. When's the last time you seen your daughter?
June 26th. Yeah.
And then before that June 26th date, were you seeing her every week, every month, every 2 weeks, every?
It was supposed to be 3 days on and 3 days off.
Okay.
That was the schedule. That we've had that for about a year now.
And then all of a sudden she just stopped.
It wasn't all of a sudden. Like I said, she's full of drama and drama filled. Like, this is how she lives her life day in and day out. She comes to the parent pickup with drama. You know what I mean? I'm pulling up to pick my daughter up, and she's in her car. I'm in my car. I shouldn't have to get out my car for you to let the baby out the car. She'll sit there and wait till I get out the car, or you know, we're supposed to be there at 6 o'clock. She pulling up at 6:15, and just drama.
So that program,
drama.
aren't they? Is it a place where you go in? One parent goes in one side and one parent comes on the other side, and then you leave the baby there. Then the person comes in and picks the baby up and da 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 da.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen like that, but there's like this judge that was on my case appointed these people, and I feel like, you know, maybe she done said something behind closed doors, or, you know, passed them a letter and told somebody not to look, and you know, I feel like it's just a bunch of nonsense going on behind closed doors, because the people at that program, you know, they was giving me the runaround. I've been signed up with them for 2 going on 3 months now. My court order was put out September 10th. I was supposed to be getting my daughter back, and basically they gave her a little bit of time to get set up, and I was already set up for a month at that time. So she had plenty of time. She knew she was supposed to get my daughter back, and it just was, man, these people, they call me, and then they'll act like nobody's in the office, and then they'll call, and they'll say, what the lady, she told me, what'd she say? Basically, they told me they're not gonna have me there with my child. They're not gonna facilitate the pickups because I'm being hostile, which I was never hostile with these people. All I was doing was trying to figure out why there was such a runaround when, you know, there's a court order, we got a guardian ad litem appointed. Why, you know, I need my daughter. Like,
Right.
I shouldn't have to go beat nobody's door down, fight with police, make police reports,
Right.
go make sure a judge is doing their job. I shouldn't have to do all that to get my kid, you know, especially with the court order saying I should have my kid.
Period. Yeah, and I was gonna say that I think that when people, and you can attest to this, I'm sure a lot of other black folks can attest to this, but when we are strong-minded about something and very highly opinionated about something, and we know what we know,
Exactly.
and we're aware,
They're hurting about that.
it's more emotions than it is anger or frustration. It's just like, I'm trying to get somebody to hear me and nobody is hearing me. I just need you to listen. That's it. Then once you're done listening, you can go do what it is that I need you to be done. But don't take what I'm saying, because this is the life of my child.
Exactly.
This is not no game. This is something that is a life that matters to me. And
Important.
And very important. And I'm not
Right.
sure if you know, but I'm sure that we all know that there is lots of absent children without their fathers. And for a man to step up and ask for help, and a man to step up and say, look, I need my child to be present with me, that is powerful. That is meaningful. And just know that the more you push, even regardless of the backlash that you're getting, you're gonna be successful in that.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I feel it and I know it.
For sure.
So just keep pushing. But so we're here at this spot when you're saying that it's been since June, since you've seen your daughter.
Yeah.
Again, they came to you in September and said they were gonna revamp things. You were gonna get custody, and we're in what month? October.
Man, I'm losing track trying to keep up now, because it's like I gotta reiterate the dates, and you know, they want me to keep track of when she didn't show up and why she didn't, like.
That's not your
That's
business.
not normal.
But that's not your business. Your business is with your child,
Exactly.
and that's it.
And that's it. So yeah, it was just, it's crazy because the guardian ad litem was, you know, we get to court. We had a court date probably September, or probably second week of September or something like that. She had to come back to court because she didn't show up in August for a court date. And we get there, and you know, it was just another shit show, pretty much. That's all it was. This judge, she gets in there, she don't even know why we're in there, and then she's announcing that she's getting off the case, and that we should be happy that she's getting off the case with no resolution. You know what I'm saying?
This is the judge you've been seeing?
Yeah.
You should be happy.
We should be happy. And then proceeds to tell us that what she say? Or she told me that she basically wasn't gonna help me get my daughter back, and she's done dealing with it. She just basically shut down the court date and told us to get out of there because she didn't want to hear what I had to say. And the guardian ad litem was in there pretty much backing up my daughter's mom, which I'm confused at why you're a guardian ad litem, you're supposed to report to the courts the facts, and you're in court tangling up the facts, and it just didn't go good. I was in there confused because this lady she's appointing, they're all white ladies. I can't get a black person. No black person works in the court system. There's no men around that work in the court system. When they are, they're probably the deputy or something like that. And it's just crazy dealing with these people. It's always a white person in your face, always. They don't have no colored people. And I hate to, you know what I'm saying, put it like that, but
it's true.
I need a black person dealing with a black family.
Because we know it's peer to peer. It's at least that on that level. It may not be that you've experienced the things that I've experienced in life, but you know the blackness.
Exactly.
So you know what it means for us to survive in these spaces. So we need each other. We definitely do.
These white folks is tearing families apart. Donald Trump is a prime example, man. Them people at the border, you know, they're down at the border having to deal with it. We're right here in the backyard of the U.S. having to deal with it. That makes absolutely no sense, you know.
It makes no sense.
It all go back to the voting and stuff, but, you know, I feel like when people get put in office, their hands are full. So stuff like this, somebody needs to specialize in it and look over this stuff, because I can't get Meek Milled in the custody, you know, custody court. You're Meek Milling a black guy from seeing his family. Like, you letting people commit crimes against me, you know what I mean, and they're getting away and doing all type of crazy stuff. A judge being biased and
racist.
Oh man, you wouldn't even believe
Sexist.
What's going on in there. You wouldn't even believe it. Like I told you, some people are surprised. It's like, wow, are you really fighting for your daughter? Like, some people just told me just give up because, you know,
that could be the easy thing,
you know
but
I mean?
that you wouldn't have never got in it if you was gonna give up.
Exactly.
Ever. It wouldn't have never been your story.
Not at all.
That's a lot.
Oh man, that's why we here though. We putting
that's definitely why we're here to get the information out to the powers that be.
For sure.
And bless those who listen and bless those who may be able to help your situation, because I know it's coming.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I already know.
Yeah.
It's a long time coming, you know.
Right, but your works will not go without getting taken care of. Know that, cover that, believe that.
I will.
So, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about in that situation? Is there any more information that you want to get out there that we haven't touched on?
What else can I put on this? Just you gotta be aware. There's really no program in Minnesota that's gonna help you as far along as I am. It's crazy that they have all these programs that claim they're gonna help these single fathers, and you go to these programs and it's just about the funding, you know. They get their funding, and then you're just this single dad fighting, you know. You get so much help. Man, one program told me they had a lawyer, that would represent you. I went to the program, did everything I needed to do. They played me, told me they basically couldn't have nobody represent me. They'll check my, they'll look over my court orders and do all of this and refer me to this person. And yeah, it was a whole waste of my time.
So you went to a program that told you to do these steps, you do the steps, and then you SOL. What did you do the steps for then?
What did I even come to that program for?
Wow.
It's a fight out here with these single fathers, man. I ain't, not discouraged one bit at all.
Right.
Because, times are changing, so hopefully this is something that this justice system has their eye on and plans on changing, because it has to change.
Right, and we want to be in unison with the court system, so that things like when things like this happen, we can work collaboratively as the purpose, which is supposed to support families and children. Exactly. And in order to do that, it's keeping families together. If a father is seeking for custody for his child, provide that to him. And if he's not to a place where he can be a provider, then support him. Get him to that space. Show him what it's like, because sometimes in life we encounter where someone doesn't even know what that looks like, what it looks like to be a father. They never had an opportunity to see what it looks like because they didn't have a father for themselves.
Oh, man.
Or they just seen things in the community or other people and they're like, I don't want to work like that. But you have to basically focus on what we can do. And so in the system, we want to work in collaboration with judges and the child protection people and all those people in collaboration, so that we can get the needs met and people can be placed back in the spaces with their families. Exactly. That is how children thrive, is when they're with those who they know best. So it's not that we want to be like, oh, no, you can't help me. Oh, this program's not for me. We're searching for that. We're searching for opportunities that can help young men like yourself, that can help other women, whomever needs the support, but looking at it with the right set of eyes and not looking at it like, oh, just because he's black and just because he done been through this and just because he has no that matters. Yeah. Show them the way, show them the guidance that needs to happen in order to have those things to happen. But it's only going to happen if we work in unison, and not whereas black folks don't matter, native people don't matter, people of color don't matter, or we're always trying to fight to make a difference in our areas, or trying to prove to white folks that we matter, that our voices need to be heard. It shouldn't have to be like that.
Yeah, man, totally with you on that. Like, I feel like we're going backwards for some reason.
It does.
I feel like we're going backwards, though. So I hear what you're saying.
It does seem that way.
I feel like something just needs to change, and drastically, because I feel like we're taking 10 steps backwards doing stuff like this.
Yeah, we shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't even have to talk about this. It should have been taken care of, and it should have been granted, and it should have been followed through, period. Right. Like, period.
Like, how are judges, putting out orders that they're not even following?
Right.
That's my whole misunderstanding about this thing is.
Right, because if you didn't do it,
I'll be put in jail.
You've been held accountable at a higher regard.
Ridiculous.
A higher regards if you did not follow through on what they said do.
I already been put in there.
Right.
That predicament.
Right, but I'm saying, if you went into court and you didn't have the paperwork, or you didn't have this done, or you didn't follow through on that, and you back and forth doing this.
If I didn't come with the child to the pickup.
That too.
If I went, it's just ridiculous.
Those type of situations, you would have been held to.
They say it's a felony to deprive a parent of their rights and their parenting time. And I filed contempt motions on top of contempt motions. That's all in here, and nothing's done. So I refuse to go pay $20,000 for a lawyer when a piece of paper is not going to work.
Right. How can you be secure that it's gonna work just because you hand over $20,000? Because they might come back and say, we need 20 more.
And you got to keep paying.
So what's up? That's the truth.
I refuse. So that's, man, I don't know. We got to come to some kind of common ground.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you could change one law, what would it be and why?
One law, and what would, why? I would change this, this, you know, the mom gets the rights when the baby is born. Why would I do that? Because I feel like if you're gonna have a family, then dad needs rights too.
Period.
If we're just being truthful.
Yeah.
You know?
Dad's lives matter too. For real.
It's just that simple.
It is. It is.
That's like telling the kid and mom and dad don't matter.
Period. Or that what your voice should not be heard, or that it has no power, and it has so much power because it takes just as much as a man as a woman, equal. That's how it's possible.
Man,
so
it take two to tango for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I ain't seen no
I mean,
baby.
I know they do inseminations and all that stuff nowadays, but
that's
no, the
about
real
it.
deal,
Yeah,
it takes two.
It takes two.
So just as much rights should be just as equal. I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
So what is your motivation and intention for this project of Everybody Has a Story?
My intention is to get my story out there to the world, because obviously I'm not doing a good job at that. You know, I'm not the type to you know, just need help all the time. I like to do stuff for myself, but you know, when you're helpless, what else can you do besides, you know, ask for help?
Right. So you want your voice heard. You want somebody to take on your case if they can possibly help you.
Yeah, I need somebody to come get this case. I need judges fired. I need this guardian ad litem fired. I need their whole office cleared out because they're a joke. That's
the problem.
Family
they got to
wise,
go.
that's a joke. That, like, if your family has to go to Family Wise, I feel sorry for you, because those people they got your kids' lives in their hands, and they're in control. So it's like, man, I feel sorry for you, you know. Along with this judge, Joy Barcher, I don't know how much of a judge she is, but you know, she gotta go. She gotta go, honestly.
So you want people out?
Man, I almost went and protested. You don't even know. I'm
well,
still trying to go protest.
I do know that you want to protest.
I want to go stand in the front of this building and get these people out of there, because no family is going to be good if they have to deal with them.
Yeah.
No family, white, black, Asian. I feel sorry for whoever gets in front of these people.
Yeah. So you want them out for you. You want them out for people that come behind you. And eons, they got to go.
You already know.
And you need your voice to be heard. You need your case to be taken.
I need my daughter.
And you need your, first and foremost.
I need my daughter.
First
for real.
and foremost.
Man, her mama needs to see what it's like to be put in those cuffs and eat those cold bologna sandwiches, man. That's what I really, you know, I want her to experience that. You ain't gotta slap no charges on her, but let her experience that.
We don't want her to experience that.
That's
because
what she want to put me through. She
well,
needs to
yeah, I
experience
get that. But we don't want her to live on that side either. That's a messed up predicament.
But she don't understand what it's like to live, so she needs to experience it so she can, you know.
She can take a couple days.
Get a little reality check. That's all. That's all I wanted to do.
It's your show. I'm just the host.
I needed to have a reality check for real, man. Like I can't say no names because she's a bum. Like I don't even understand how you take a man that's taking care of his business through drama like this, man. Take that other bum that you're dealing with through this. Don't you know what I mean? I take care of mine.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna have that situation under a different umbrella. Because we ain't got no energy for negativity. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all, man.
Especially
not
me.
at all.
I'm all about positivity.
For sure.
And if maybe you could send her to my group or something, you know what I'm saying?
I can't talk to her. That's why we here. Cause
you can't talk to her. Well, if you see the show and you want to be a part of something positive and something that is life-changing for you, that you can be a better mother and allow father to be a source in your daughter's life, like that's, I don't know the background history, nor do I condone physical. I don't do that, but
there has been none.
But I'm saying if there ever were, I don't condone that. And so what I'm saying is, if that's a reason, don't let that be the reason. It has to be other things
I hope not.
that you need to know in life is more powerful for a black woman to see and be around her father, and that's coming from a fatherless black woman.
She gotta be a better role model too. You got a girl, you got two girls in this. You gonna show them that, you know, take them away from their father. What are you showing them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's harmful. It's harmful now, and it's harmful for growing up. Yeah. Like those who grow up without fathers, I can resonate with that today because I grew up without mine. Didn't even know him for 26 years. Barely even knew what he looked like. I had a thought of what he looked like. And then when I finally did see what he looked like, I'm like, dang, dude, really do look like me. Mm-hmm. And still yet to this day, I struggle with a relationship with him because of the unknown. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even on his part, I know it's unknown for him too. And I still love him. I don't, not love him. But it would have been that much more impactful on my life.
I know it would have.
Had my father would have been around.
But then that's a part of this. That's why I'm here though, because man, I'm here for all them fathers that back in the day, you know what I'm saying, it was tough.
Yeah.
They didn't have none of these, you couldn't go in there and get no joint custody.
Right.
They wasn't having that. They
right.
Was, you had to fend for yourself back in the day, man. And I already know, you know what I'm saying, coming from a single parent home, I grew up without my dad. He was in my life, but he was miles away.
Right.
So I know what it's like, man, and that's why I'm here trying to, I had my daughters, and I had an understanding that I wasn't gonna never, I was just gonna do better. Mm-hmm. That's all. Do better than my dad did.
Right.
Try to be a better parent. That's all. Cause we got all this technology now. You get on FaceTime and have a relationship with your kid now. You know what I mean?
For real.
You don't have to be there, but you could be there.
Yeah. Games,
that simple.
Practices,
all that.
Plays, meetings, all of that.
It's simple. It just was hard back in the day. I already know, dealing with judges that we're dealing with now. I can imagine what it was like.
But see, I feel like, and maybe this is my own personal thought process, but generations before us, and I'm 35, so I'm not sure how old you are. Okay, so generations before us, families kept families together. They kept families together so tight that couldn't nobody come in and be like, we're snatching this kid from your household or even your family, because families were so tight.
Man, you could go to somebody else's house and be in their family if you wanted to.
For real.
You had extended family.
Exactly, and they supported you and they came behind you, and especially when it came to our children. Who so-and-so got who kids? Nah, grandma was going to get them. You feel me? Auntie was going to get them. You feel me? It wasn't none of this. These kids is over here and not knowing their family. So civilization needs to happen, because what's happening is that not only are we breaking our own families, but we allow other people to break our families and come in and dictate to us the things like such that do not need to happen. There's no reason that you should not be seeing your daughter today.
There's no excuse.
None.
Besides controversy, cover-ups, lies, bias, feminism,
which is all emotions.
All of
There's no physical reason for you to be separated from your child. All of what you just said was emotions.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. They're not supposed to have that in the court. Right?
No.
I had to go file complaints. I had to go to the judicial board and file complaints because this is what I'm forced to deal with. And it's like, it's okay. It's just been made okay, you know? But it's not okay.
No, it's not, and it will never be okay in our book, in the righteousness book. But you keep fighting, and it's gonna happen.
For sure.
So, what does acceptance and equality mean to you?
Acceptance is, you accept people for who they are. What they tell you, or I ain't gonna say what they tell you, but who they tell you are. You got, they say you only supposed to believe half of what you see and none of what you hear.
More of what you see and some of what you hear.
Something like that.
Because sometimes you can see something like, yeah, nah, I don't think I see it when I see it.
Head playing tricks.
Yeah.
But nah, man, that just goes along with that, man. You gotta accept what it is. Sometimes you gotta go with the flow. Sometimes you can't, we all got our own ways and do things differently, but sometimes, it's best to come together.
Yeah, for sure.
Put them differences aside.
Right.
Acceptance and
equality.
Equality basically is meaning you shouldn't get treated more differently than I am.
Right. No matter who we are.
No matter whatever's going on.
Where we come from.
Nothing.
It's equal. It's divided equally, provided equally. Like how else can we say it?
Yeah,
it's equal. No unevenness.
50-50.
50-50, not 50.25 and 49.75, but
even splits.
50-50.
Yeah, for sure. That gotta happen, man. That's times this, man. There's too much going on. Just imagine what we could do if everybody came together,
Period. Be powerful people.
Man, for sure.
Like the Black Panthers, Black Panthers.
Man.
Like those who really united and made a difference. Our ancestors, I believe, came together at times, especially when there was a lot of uneasiness and a lot of chaos and turmoil. I know they went through and suffered so much more than us.
Like they fought for us to be here. There should be none of what we got going on
exactly,
right now.
And that's my point.
Especially
they fought.
with our own people. We fighting black on black. Like that just don't make no sense.
Black on black don't make no sense. Like.
Not even black on brown,
it doesn't make sense. If you do not agree with somebody, okay, that's fine. Go that way. Exactly. Why are you coming this way? Why are you steadily trying to cause problems? But that's a different story on another subject. But real talk, we need to come together, and especially when our brothers and sisters are hurting and fighting and trying to survive in the world.
Right.
For real.
Oh man, I believe in that. Man. Sometimes I just stay to myself because if you can't come together, that's the best way.
Period. It's all if you can't, yes, but don't live in community by yourself because you're not alone.
Not at all.
You definitely have supporters, and you definitely have people out there that are going to be willing to come behind your side and support you. You just might need to talk a little more.
Oh, yeah.
You might need to communicate a little more, but we got you.
For sure.
So that ends our story today. I want everybody to share this show. We also have a YouTube channel. Everybody has a story. You can also catch us again live on Sierra Sparkle Shop Live and like Facebook. Everybody has a story as well. If you're interested in coming on the show, please email me at everybodyhasastorylivepodcast@gmail.com. And again, if you have some
Man,
advice.
hit me up, man. I need a lawyer. I need somebody that's about that business, man.
Yes,
For real. Like,
yes.
I'm out here fighting by myself, you know, not by myself, but when I go in front of these judges, I'm by myself because I don't need too many people to fight for me. You know, I know how to voice my opinion and talk for myself. It's just, you know, I don't know what's going on behind these closed doors, and you know, I'm just trying to get my daughter, man, because you know, her sister, my whole family miss my daughter. You know what I mean? And there should be no reason why we're missing her. If she's alive, you know, if she stays 1-2 cities away, there's no reason why I should be having to go to court to get my daughter.
That's real talk. So thank you again for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful, prosperous day, and we'll check you next time.
Thank you.